Hello and welcome back, everybody, to The Student's Opinion. It's been a busy few weeks for us here with college applications and exams, so we apologize for not uploading the past couple of Sundays. But today, we are back for the fourth episode, the Spanish Exposition. Our guest today is Angel, one of Medhaansh's acquaintances at UWC, who volunteered to discuss the Spanish education system. Angel, could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Hello, I am Angel. I come from the north of Spain. I am a UWC student. I studied all my life in the Spain system of education, and now I'm here in the Netherlands, getting the IB diploma. That is me in a nutshell.
Thank you for that brief introduction, Angel. Now, let's jump into the episode. Could you tell us and our audience about the Spanish education system and how it works?
So in Spain, there are three types of centers. You have the public schools, which are like completely financed by the government. Then you have private schools, which the people that go to the school, they pay a mensual or annual fee, and you get the money to like pay the salaries of the teachers and the installations and everything. And then there is a kind of mixed schools where the government pays the salaries of the teachers, but the school pays the installation. So I went to one of those schools, but you still have to complete the Spanish education curriculum. So how it works, you have like primary education, which is from 6 to 12 years old, and then you have secondary education, which is completely mandatory in all country. It lasts 4 years, and after that you have last 2 years of high school where you can choose your specializations. Is essentially sciences, natural sciences or technical sciences, or humanities. It comes like in a pack. You cannot choose like specific subjects, but you choose like the pack of subjects that come with it. And after that you have final high school exams to get to university, and according on your average of those last 2 years of high school and the mark you get in the exam, you have like your final mark of access to university.
That's really interesting to hear. It's certainly very different compared to a lot of schooling systems we have heard. You mentioned like three different types of schooling systems present in Spain. So, which amongst them do you think gives you the better education per se to students?
Honestly, as an education, I think the best ones is the private usually, mainly because the public schools and the mixed schools are more influenced by the government ideas, and as in any country, the government influences highly education. So to get a better education that can have more potential and give you more possibilities in the long term, the best one I think can be private. But it's true that the public schools in Spain are very good and have a very good level compared to neighbor countries. But it's a shame that it gets all this influence from the government and politics.
That's really interesting to hear. So, while you talked about education in high school, does the Spanish high school offer extracurricular activities per se that help a student grow overall, or does it just focus on academics?
It is true that the Spanish public curriculum is very traditional. It doesn't focus a lot on technology and how all these new tools that are brought to the world are used in real life experiences. But yeah, it's mainly very traditional. In my school, it is true that you could do extracurricular activities, but it was just a thing in my school. It's not in the curriculum itself. So it is true that the public curriculum in Spain really does not encourage the student to do more than what is necessary.
So, do you think that it's necessary for the government to understand that they need much more emphasis on extracurriculars?
Definitely. Spain is falling behind. Neighbor countries such as France, even Portugal and UK, they are taking the advantage because they are focusing on developing potential of technology in jobs. I don't think it really is a problem of extracurriculum activities. It's just modernizing the actual curriculum. And apart from that, one of the main problems in the Spanish education system is that you are only required to do the bare minimum, and usually, if you can do more than what is needed, they will hold you back. They don't want you to be better than others. They just want you to be mediocre. Yeah.
That is really interesting. Now let's shift our discussion from high school to college. How does the college system work in Spain?
So in Spain, there is not such things as college. It's just straight university. But there is, let's say, two types mainly. You have professional formation, which you can access that without doing the last 2 years of high school. It's essentially for jobs such as mechanic, fireman, jobs that don't really need that much level of study. And there is also like universities itself. Universities in Spain, a lot of them are financed by the government, which is very good because this means that people can afford them. And there is also obviously private universities. But essentially, yeah, you have professional formation or universities. But to access universities, you need to have done the last 2 years of high school.
So, would you say that going to university is more beneficial to students than professional formation?
I think it obviously depends on like what you want to do, but it is obviously beneficial. I think if you want to be a fireman, it's useless because you need to do professional formation. But if you want to be an architect or any job that requires major degree studies, university is the way to go, and it's not bad in Spain.
Yes, that makes sense. So, now out of university, what are the job opportunities available to most graduates? And what are the jobs that most students pursue in Spain?
It obviously depends on the job. I think that is self-explanatory. But for example, if you want to work for the government, for example, in Spain we have public health system, so that is like working for the government. You need to take an exam for that job that you want to apply for. So those type of jobs, like where it's financed by the government, you can access it automatically if you get that exam. But the other jobs is just like any other place in the world. You can have a degree, that doesn't like promise that someone will hire you.
Let's talk about some of the issues that people face in the Spanish education system. So, could you speak about in detail about what are some of the issues that the Spanish education system face or lacks, in fact?
Spain has a very good potential in education because there is free public education, which means that people that wouldn't be able to afford education in other countries, they can. So that is a great advantage on our neighbor countries. That is something that could bring a lot of potential to Spain development in the future. It really has the potential to grow the younger generations, the people of tomorrow, to improve their workforce, to make it the best workforce in Europe, which would lead to Spain being in the level of UK and France, even Germany. Right now, Spain has a public debt of almost 120%. This means that we own more money than the one we have. However, Spain continues spending millions and millions and millions every year in education. But as I said, this is not necessarily a problem. It can be a good investment in the future. But the problem is that how the government is managing education, it is making it a problem and not an investment. We are losing money in education. We're not investing money in education as of today. Why is this? There are several problems. The first problem of the Spanish public education is the curriculum itself. This means that it's outdated. Now I am in an international school in the Netherlands, and I realized that the Spanish public education curriculum is not that good. It lacks a lot of technicalities in sciences and also level in maths, and as well how technology is implemented in the work life. So that is one of the problems, the curriculum itself. The second problem is the policies of immigrations. This is going to be a little controversial, but Spain is accepting a lot of immigrants, which can be good if they are well implemented in society, but how they are put into the education system doesn't favor either the people that come from undeveloped countries or the people that come from Spain. Why? Because they are put in the same classroom together. So obviously, the guy with a worse education background that is not familiarized with the language or everything is going to hold back the other students. So the other students are not going to advance to wait for this guy. And this guy is not really going to understand because he's not having a centered education in his background. So how the government could solve this is just for people coming from different backgrounds, make a different class. So then the people from Spain can advance at their own pace and a special teacher can be focused on the people from different backgrounds, which is going to help both parties. The third problem is the subject specialization. In Spain, you can choose to go technical sciences, natural sciences, or humanities, but it's like a subject package. So there's people that don't need to study certain subjects that are losing their time in studying them. So maybe trying to offer a different subject specialization way would be better. Maybe choosing 3 subjects of a specialization. If there was a way to manage to do that, it would be way better because there's people like losing their time in subjects that they are not going to use. And the last problem, and this is going to be extremely controversial, is again related to government policies, is what the government considers important in education. Look, education is not only acquiring the skills to be able to work on a certain job. It also has to educate students on how to be implemented in society. This means being respectful for each other, respecting other people's rights and everything. But this doesn't mean that this is the main focus. The main focus of education is to give students the ability to work the day of tomorrow. But in Spain, the government is managing education system as a way to manipulate society to get their focus of the real problems, such as the public debt, the lack of job opportunities, and all of these problems. The bad economy of Spain right now and the lack of job opportunities is a problem that is going to explode in our faces in only 10 years if we don't do nothing about it. But what happens? The government obviously doesn't want you to notice that because it means that you will vote for another political party. So you're just putting focus into things that are not really that important. The government really does not care about women's rights. That's how it is. The government does not care at all about LGBTQ communities. They just care about having their seat in the presidential house.
Right, that gave an essential sense of some of the major problems that Spain faces in the education system. But I would like to know, and I think so will our listeners, while you listed out that there are many issues and problems that Spain faces, what are the benefits or the advantages of studying in the Spanish education system?
The main advantage is that it is free and it gives you a decent quality of education. But it's going to be good. But Spain shouldn't be aiming for being good. Spain should be aiming for being the best in Europe. We're getting complacent. Spain shouldn't be enough with having a good education system. Spain should have the best education system and an education system that implements all the things, that implements obviously education in like subjects, but also education in people's rights, in inclusivity, in everything, but with the right balance and the correct amount. I think Spain can really take a good advantage of its free public education system and education curriculum if they plan it right. But the problem is that the government is not interested in people being aware of how the world really works, because that would mean that they wouldn't be there in 10 years.
Now, you said that the government does not want people to realize the real problems that Spain is facing. But don't the people already know that the government is deliberately trying to keep them in the dark?
No, people are not aware of that. Some people obviously see that, but the people that try to stand out and to get their voice heard, they usually get silenced because they don't want people to be like that.
So you say some of the real issues that Spain faces, that the government is trying to use education as a tool and trying to shift the focus from that. But according to you, what are some of the real problems that Spain faces?
One of the main problems of Spain is that it doesn't favor entrepreneurship. The majority of people, when you ask them what do you want to work on in the future, they say something that is financed by the government. I want to be a doctor, I want to be a teacher, I want to work in this, I want to work in that, but they all want to get paid by the government. Obviously, some people need to do these jobs, but society, the Spain infrastructure, the Spanish infrastructure cannot be hold like this for that long. That is one of the problems. The other one is that in Spain, if you stand out, they will try to like get you down. They don't want no one to be superior. They don't want no one to think outside the box. So the people that are really worth it, as I said, they're going to other countries to work. Good doctors that graduate in Spanish universities, they're going to the UK, they're going to France, they're going to the US, whatever. Good physicists, they're going to other countries. So in Spain, we're keeping the people that are not really that worth it. They are good, but the good ones, they are leaving Spain because they don't get well paid, because no one really values them. And pyramid of population is changing its form. Now, the elder part of the population is almost bigger than the youth. Like there's more people that are older, getting older, than the people that are being born. And as in Spain, the government pays to the elder people that don't work a salary each month, is going to get to the point where the people that the workforce is going to get to the point where the workforce can no longer hold all this big infrastructure of people that need salaries and everything. So that is another problem. But the main problem in Spain is that it doesn't favor innovation and technological development.
Right, so those are very interesting points you brought up. Now then, let's get to the last segment of the podcast, Mythbusters. What is a myth about schooling in Spain, or any aspect in general for that matter, that is not true but is believed around the world?
Yeah, there is not a lot of stereotypes about the Spanish education, but it is true that there is this stereotype around that Spaniards don't have a good level of English, and that is actually true. There's not a very good level of English in Spain compared to other countries, but it's true that especially mixed and private schools are putting more and more focus into this. But the public curriculum has a very bad level of English, honestly. So all the people that have a decent level of English in Spain is because they have put extracurricular work into it. This is obviously a problem because, like, being honest, the world of today works in English. But I get the point that maybe the Spanish government would want to empower nationalism and making the Spanish language more powerful, but it's not because of that. It's mainly because the curriculum hasn't evolved in the last 100 years. That's purely the problem.
Interesting. So, right now, Angel, you're studying in UWC Maastricht, which is in the Netherlands, which is an international school. So, compared to your previous schooling in Spain, which you spoke about, what Do you think that studying the IB is better, or has the public education system helped you prepare for the IB life which you're going to lead in the next 2 years?
Being honest, it kind of did. I think my level, my background is better than a lot of people here coming from different national education systems. But it's not enough, definitely. Because Spain shouldn't aim to be better than other education systems. Spain should aim to be the best education system in the world. And even though it's not bad, it could be way better. It could be way better. The IB is way more different and way more challenging than the education system of Spain. But this doesn't mean that there are worse education systems right there. No, Spain should aim to be a good one, a good one. Doesn't like Spain shouldn't conform with mediocrity. That is the Spanish problem.
Right. With that, I think we have reached the end of our discussion about Spain. So, Angel, do you have any particular closing or ending points or statements that you would like to make so that other listeners can hear about it?
This is your life. You can do what you want. You can get what you want if you give in the hard work. Give your best at everything you do in your life. Make it phenomenal so that people want to be like you and you'll get far in life.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Angel. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. And well, with that, I think we can conclude our fourth episode here on The Student's Opinion. This episode is exclusively available on Spotify for the first 2 days, after which it will be on YouTube, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified when future episodes drop, and comment on what you thought of this episode. Also, if you have any suggestions, be sure to email us at contact.thestudentsopinion@gmail.com. For now, it is Medhaansh and I signing off.